All right. We are recording today's session. That is good. All right, we'll wait for the other individuals to join in.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chanel. Good to have you on the call.
Good to see you.
So, how was the weekend?
The weekend was busy, but I did manage to spend some time out in the countryside, so it was nice. We're
You were out driving.
wrapping up, getting ready for our community day on Saturday.
Okay.
As a matter of
Uh,
fact, I need to put the flyer in the group in case people want to know.
okay. Oh,
That'd be
speaking of,
nice. Thank you.
Absolutely. Come on out. We'd love to see you.
all right. Speaking of that, let's get my whole question. Mm, Okay. Well, today's session, even if it's just a few of us, I have a feeling you're going to really benefit from today's session. I stretched myself a little further and came up with something just a little different, targeted towards realtors. And I'm going to share my screen and just so you can see what um, the session is going to be about. If I can, uh, nope, it's not. Um, all right, it's this one. Share my. You still can't see. I don't think you can see this one. Share the poll. Oh, huh, can't. Oh well. I'm trying to let you see the outline just so you can see um what to. Oh, I think because it's not saved as a PDF, so unfortunately you won't be able to see it. Um, I thought you would be able to see it, but obviously not. Okay. I learned something, but anyway, today's session we're going to do the introduction, review chapter 8, discuss the homework, of course, my favorite prospecting success stories, the poll, and then the rest of the classes, the rest of the class is going to be the 4 objectives of prospecting for realtors. What I did, I took what was in the book of chapter 9, and I used my creativity as well as Chat GPT, and I had the session rewritten per se solely for realtors. I wonder if it could do it, and it did it, and I was surprised. So this session is 100% set for the chapter of 4 objectives of prospect. Hopefully you will um, enjoy and understand the session. All right. First thing I want to do is to go over chapter 8 real briefly, and it was about time, the great equalizer of sales. And one of the things, of course, that it talked about was time blocking and how much we should concentrate on doing time blocking from golden hours to platinum hours. And we all know that golden hours are the time that we should be using solely for income generating activities. So I hope over this past week, we have been able to concentrate a little more on setting aside time for prospecting. And in your line of work, I understand you can get calls that are interruptions, things that are unplanned that can, require you to put out a various fire. And sometimes you like every day, all you're doing is putting out fires. But through all of this, it's still to our best interest to continue to do our best to prospect on a daily basis. Even if it's only sending out one text, one email, phone call, whatever, it's still to our benefit. Because if we want to maintain the activity that we're presently are doing, if we have a lot of deals we're working on to prevent the ups and downs, we have to be consistent with our prospecting. And I'm more talking to myself now because that's one of my greatest challenges is when things going well, you just focus on trying to get these deals done, put out fires and keep things moving. And then you're like, okay, when this is done, I'll return back to my prospecting. But that's when we have these peaks and valleys. So that consistency is a challenge, a major challenge. But for us to obtain our goals, that's what it's going to require us to initiate that hard work, be consistent and disciplined, and then we'll be able to hit our annual production goals. Any questions regarding chapter 8? Okay. Now, let's go directly to let me ask one question. Was anyone last week able to hit their weekly lead goals for their annual production? Whether it was 2 new leads, 3 new leads, whatever. Was anyone able to hit their weekly lead goal? No, no, no. I don't know if I did. I have to check. But the one thing that I want to share, last week I had my uh bi-monthly call with my manager where we just talked for 30 minutes to see what we've been doing. And he's been quite interested in this class. and I shared with him my production sheet in terms of how we set up our annual goals. And he wanted me to send that to him. So I sent that to him, and he looked over it, and he was quite impressed. So in terms of what we are doing on at least my side, there is a lot of interest. He always asks about this class. He always asks about, and I know one day he's going to try and sneak in and just to hear what all we are talking about, because no other loan officer within our company is doing anything close to what we're doing. So I look forward to having him see what can be done if we get out of our comfort zone. All right. So now what we're going to do is go to our poll. And let me make certain that this is up and running. Good. Okay. All right. I put the link in chat, and hopefully this will work out fine. All right. Bear with me if you can see my screen. There we go.
I don't see a link in chat.
Oh, you don't see it? All right, hold on.
Mm-mm.
Copy, join the link.
There
Hold
is a link in chat, but I can see the screen without clicking on the link.
All right, hold on. Let me go back.
I don't have it.
Yeah, it gives me fit all the time. I'll stop share. Hold on. Stop share. Let
Oh,
me
now
put
you took it off.
message to everyone. Paste. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. I can see
Okay,
it.
very good. All right, so now let's share my screen. That's right. Hold. Share.
Mm.
All right. And then hopefully it'll come up now. Okay, whoo, it's working. Okay, got it working now. All right. So the first question, option 1 or 2, have you started time blocking for prospect? If everyone on the call can participate, hopefully everyone was able to access the poll. Does anyone have any problem trying to access the poll? All right, we got 2. Okay, awesome. Because I made this question a little easy. Because the next, I guess one of the future questions I'm going to have you started daily time blocking for prospecting? This time I'll just start with time blocking, and then as we continue, I'm going to put in the word daily just to see how that's going to go. All right. And now let's go to the next one. And this is more open-ended. What challenges are you experiencing sticking to daily prospect? And this is when you can just type in your response, whatever it is. Because each one of us on a daily basis, we have challenges and items that have come up unexpectedly. And I was just curious just to see what are some of the things that might be preventing you from daily prospecting. Any responses yet? Did anyone submit any responses yet? Or are you still typing? Oh.
Is there a question?
No, it just was, well, there was a question. What challenges are you experiencing sticking to daily prospect? Family emergencies, myself. Um, yeah, I would equate uh life. Those things just come up with this life. Things unexpected happens. I mean, we all get those, and I know those are going to be the number one challenges, things that come up unexpected. And both of those family emergencies, um, myself, just being honest, by not doing the things that we need to do, so I can understand that as well.
And
And
that's funny, Fred, because I started to put just life because it is that there's so much going on a daily basis that comes in and disrupts what you're doing, whether it's an emergency with a transaction or a family emergency or just like life.
just life, yeah. I mean, things that we have no control over, but we have to deal with it. It is
Right.
what it is. I received two text messages this morning which said, Fred, I can't attend the session, and both of them was pertaining to just life. So that's all it is. It's just life. All right. And then the next question. Hopefully I get this one. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. How comfortable are you with prospecting since participating in the fanatical prospecting class? 1 would be not as comfortable, and 5 would be very comfortable since taking this class. We have one person on the call. I mean,
Are we putting this in the chat, or were we supposed to scan this thing?
click on the link in chat.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was on a call with Ariel. I tapped out for a bit.
No problem. Yeah, yeah. That the link that's in chat. Just click on it and they'll take you to the poll. Okay. Okay. We got 2 people.
I don't see the link. It's not in my chat.
Yes, it.
It just says fanatical prospecting class. There's nothing under it.
What is it? Oh, it's okay. All right. It is okay. Hold on. Can you hear me? Oops. All right.
Remember
Okay, now she's back. All right, very good. Okay, Benny, glad to have you join us. And today's session is going to pertain to, oh shoot. I didn't send this to you, but I am.
Sounds good.
Oh, Bear with me 1 second. You need to see what I'm getting ready to present. Bear with me 1 second here. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
All right, hold on. All right. You can't see anything of mine now, correct?
No, just you.
Okay. Hold on.
I can.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, were we answering?
Yeah, no, hold on. I made a boo-boo.
If like I still have the link on my chat, and like if I click, I go back to the answers.
Yeah.
Let me see if I
Okay.
can
What
put it
about
on the chat.
now? What do you see now? Just the group, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So you see me. Okay.
Let's see if I can copy it.
All right.
Copy, paste. I send the link on the chat.
I
Okay.
got it.
All right.
What I can
All
see,
right.
like,
Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, I'm glad I was able to get this straight up. I don't know. I think they gotta be able to see this. Okay. All right. This is what I came up with, and I'm going to send to each of you. But this is what I want to go over, and it's adapted from what's in the book to now for our session of being realtors. So, the title of the session was the 4 objectives of prospecting. And every time we make a prospecting attempt, there should be an objective. Why are we either sending a text? Why are we making a call, trying to schedule an appointment, gather intelligence? What is it that we are trying to do? It's not as though we should be making an attempt to just be busy. There should be a objective. And so there are 4 objectives of prospecting that we should all be mindful of. The first one is set the appointment, gather intelligence is the second one, build rapport and trust, the third, and the fourth, plant seeds for future opportunities. So each time we do a prospecting attempt, it should be one of these 4 items. And the first item is under set the appointment. I put your number one goal is not to sell. It's to secure the next conversation. Within the real estate profession, it can take us a while to take someone from the initial conversation, initial contact, to the point where they are signed a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement. And it can take, correct me if I'm wrong, anywhere from, at the best 1 day to as many as several years for any number of reasons. But when we first sit down with that person, we should have a objective. And so when I put this together, I said probably, and this is where I'm going to need your assistance, of course, because I'm not a realtor. Whenever you sit down with an individual for the first time, is your main goal to schedule some type of an appointment where you can talk more in detail? Anyway.
Usually,
Okay.
yeah, usually it's to set an appointment.
Okay. Because a lot of times your first appointment, you may just talk with someone, say so and so referred you to me, and now I'm following up, and would you have time to talk more in detail where I can understand exactly what your goals and objectives are? Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, for realtors, I put down 3 types of appointments that you may want to try and establish: a buyer consultation, a listing appointment, and a 15-minute discovery call. And through the appointments that you're setting, it could be through Zoom, in your office, in a coffee shop, wherever. But when trying to establish or to schedule an appointment for one of these, how do you go about scheduling this appointment after you make the initial contact? And below are some questions that might be added. Well, to me, that you could use. And you can tell me, Fred, if any of these are realistic, or Fred, you're way off the mark. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute call to go over your goals? Number one. Another one, what does your schedule look like this week or next? Would it make sense to meet so I could walk you through the process? I like number 3 the best, because this gives an opportunity on that response for them to elicit some type of a decision of whether or not they may want to work with you, by asking this question: would it make sense to meet so I can walk you through the process? They're either going to say yes, no, or give you some type of an excuse. And of course, the key mindset: prospecting equals setting the meeting, not closing the deal. Any questions on number 1? Does that sound about right?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Okay.
I think that reframes it and puts it back into perspective for everyone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, this is the one thing that I want to ask. And it's the acronym ABC. ABC is always be closing. So when you're at this appointment, and I'm basically doing this more for Benny, but it could be for anyone. She's the newest, but it could be for anyone. And let's start first on a buyer consultation. After you complete your consultation, what is it first question? And I'm going to start with my good friend Clivia, because she knows I was going to ask her this question. Clivia, after you finish with your buyer consultation, you speak how wonderful you are. what is it that you are trying to do next?
I'm here.
Okay, what is it you are trying to do next? After you finish with your consultation, you go over everything. What is it that you want the client to do?
To sign the exclusive right to represent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is where you do your close. And this could be for Clivia or for anyone. Does anyone have a good closing statement uh that they share with um that prospect for them to sign the buyer broker agreement? Your close. What is your close?
Brad, I don't really have a specific close because when I'm doing my buyer agency consultation, I'm already talking as though we're doing this, that we're that we're working together. So by the time I go over the buyer agency agreement, which I don't do that with everybody, it depends on um if I do have people who I've already had multiple conversations with and I know they're working with me. But for example, the lady that I just got from an open house, I will go over the buyer agency agreement and I will probably say something like, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. But once you sign this buyer agency agreement, then we can get started with the process after I've gone through everything about the.
Absolutely. Well,
Mhm.
what you just did, my good friend, that was your close.
I
Yeah,
have a
that's
question.
That was your close.
I have a question, Kimberly.
yes. I'm sorry, I kept
That you said that you don't do, that's what I understood.
yeah.
The agency agreement with everybody.
I mean, I do. Yes, I do. But some people, I just send it over and say, "Do you have any questions?" Read. Of course, I say read through it. I used to do in my buyer consultation. At the end of it, I used to go over every sheet of the buyer agency agreement. I don't do that with everyone now because I have a lot of buyers who just look through it. They have some questions. They call me with any questions they have about the buyer agency agreement, and they just sign it. So I don't
All right.
have to go line by
Well,
line by
uh,
line with
Uh,
everyone.
yeah.
oh,
But if it's someone from, for example, a open house who I haven't really established any type of relationship with them, they're not a referral. The only time I've talked to them is at the open house, then I will go through not just the buyer consultation, but I will go through the buyer agreement with them, especially first time home buyers. They they want sometimes that, they need more of that time and care and they don't know anything about the process. So it's just kind of knowing what buyer I'm working with versus, a buyer that I've never worked with.
Okay.
So I
Now let
kind of
me ask
feel
this
them
this
out.
this question, and this is not just for you, but it could be for anyone. After presenting the buyer broker agreement, and if they do not sign, what do you say at that time? Or has that ever happened?
They might not sign right at that moment, but if they don't sign in, let's say, a week, then I give them a call and I'll, just say, do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? How can I address it so we can move forward? I mean,
All right, all
they
right.
may have changed their mind. I don't know what's happening, in this today's climate, I don't know what's happening in people's world, and I know things can change on a dime. So
Okay.
I'm not a high pressure person to begin with. I don't like it myself, so I'm not going to pressure you. But
I
if there's more, if you
I
need more
understand
information, could be they just need more information. I, you know,
because
that's how I do it.
because after you present the information, and if they don't sign, do you ask a follow-up question to see where they are? Anybody?
Yeah, the follow-up question would be like, are you comfortable with everything? Do you understand? Is this what you were expecting?
Okay. Okay. That is a good one because I understand what Kim's um objection, not to objection, but what she is comfortable and what she is not. If you're not comfortable, doing versus what um uh Chanel just did was a close. And a lot of times you can start with what's known as a trial close, where at the start of going over the buyer broker agreement, you can start out with say, this is the buyer broker agreement. I'm going to go over everything with you. And at the end, we're going to need for you to sign the document so that we can begin um, working with you to find the house of your dreams, as an example. Is that okay? And if they say
Um,
yes, that's what we call a trial close. And then at the end, that's when you say, okay, we're at the end. Is there any reason why you would not want to go ahead and sign this document? That's one example of a close.
if from the beginning they don't, like you explained, because that's the way it is, I won't be able to represent you if this document that has been explained to them, and of course they have to read it, is signed. Like, thank God so far I haven't had an issue, because that's the way it is. Like, in order for me to represent you, this need to be signed. So you're giving me consent to represent you.
That's
So
right. Yeah,
so
yeah. That is your close.
why would they say no? So if you say no, you won't sign with me, but you will sign with somebody else. But that's the way it is.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. Yes. And all of this is during that appointment. So my next question is that during the initial appointment, or is that could be two to three other conversations later after the first appointment before you get to the point where you might have them to sign that agreement?
It's usually at the buyer agency. I mean, they may not sign it right that moment, but they'll sign it, um, maybe the next day. It's a lot of information. And I say that to my clients. I know I'm giving you a lot of information because some of them at the end of it look like a deer in headlights. Like it's information, acronyms, things that if they have never even begun the process, they didn't realize how involved it is. Then that's our
Okay.
job because that's our value proposition is to say, this is what we do for on your behalf.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Very
So
good.
I find a lot of people who look like they're like, so when you ask, are there any questions? They're some do, some have questions right away, but a lot of them kind of look like, wow, this is a lot. So I will say to them, I in my consultation, I always say, just like we tell our children, there are no dumb questions, and there are especially no dumb questions when you're spending your money. So if I say something to you 1,000 times and you need me to say it 1,001, I want you to feel comfortable to be able to do that. So, I think right there it puts them at ease that they can ask a question, or because I'll have people say, well, I know this is a dumb question. It's not a dumb question. If it's your question, it's not. But so there's so much information that some of them they don't process it right away. So that's why I don't push for them necessarily to sign it at that moment. But they typically, I don't have any issues with people signing a buyer agency agreement. And I let them know I cannot take you into a home, because some people want to go see a house until I represent you. That's trespassing. People, I can't take you into a person's house if I don't represent you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That makes sense. Now let's move on to the a listing appointment. What is when you are at the listing appointment, let's say the very first one, what is it? What is the objective that you're trying to accomplish at the initial listing appointment? Anyone?
Get them to sign and work with you.
Get a signed agreement, get some keys, put that lockbox on the door. I'll be back for photos.
All right. All right. So now my question is, on the initial listing appointment, how often is a seller willing, or how often does it happen where a seller will sign that listing agreement during the initial, let's say, listing consultation appointment? Happens a lot, infrequently.
80/20.
I was going to say it happens pretty, unless
Okay.
they're interviewing other agents. They'll usually they'll sign it, or you let them know that you're sending it over,
Okay.
and they'll
All right.
sign. Mhm.
Okay. That's good. And at the bottom, again, these are the questions that you can ask to get up to the point when you're in that listing appointment where you can ask those questions. So that's number one. So you set the appointment. Now, at the appointment, these are the questions or items that you can try. Let's see, back up. The number one purpose for one type of call is to set the appointment. After you set the appointment, and for whatever reason they do not sign, then you may have to go for a second call. You could probably try to do this during the first one, where you want to gather intelligence. Every conversation should help you understand the client better. And then you might try to find out, okay, what is your timeline? Find out what is your motivation. And for the motivation, I find out a lot of times, find out what is your pain point. What is it? Why is it that you want to buy? What is it that you don't like? Or selling. Why do you want to sell? You don't like the neighbors, you don't like the HOA, whatever. And then your financial readiness. Have you been pre-approved by have you talked to a loan officer? Have you been approved by a loan officer? And then, of course, number four, I'm sorry, the pain points. And then these are some of the questions you can ask while you are gathering this type of information. What's prompting your move now? Is everything lined up? If everything lined up perfectly, when would you want to move? Are you currently renting? Do you own? Have you had a chance to speak with the lender yet? Favorite. What's most important to you in your next home? And then this is the other type of call when you are making. If you've already had an appointment, if you've already gathered an intelligence, and if they still haven't made a decision, it's okay. Let me see if I can't build more rapport and trust, so that they would be more willing to work with me. And this is where you may want to have more conversations. be able to show genuine interest. And a lot of times I'm a huge believer in telling stories. And then of course, mirror your tone and follow up consistency. Because if you're down here with number three, and if they still haven't decided to work with you, following up is going to be the key. And this is when you just have more conversations. If some of these questions were not asked in the initial appointment, how long have you been in the area? What do you enjoy most about where you live now? What would you change if you could? And what's most important to you in this process? And of course, these are all different under what this looks like. All these items are nothing earth shattering, but of course, the last item, number 4, being consistent in follow up. And the mindset is trust is built in layers, not in one conversation. It can take a while for you to build that rapport where you are having these conversations, and ultimately you want that individual to be a client. And after all of that, if it still doesn't work, if it's not really to make a decision, number 4, this phone call or our appointment is where you have to plant seeds for future opportunities. And this is where, number 1 thing, you're going to have to nurture that individual. Stay top of mind. Find ways where you are providing consistent value and position yourself as the go-to agent. To me, this is the hardest one. The other 3, they're more easier, but if someone, after all this time and effort you have spent with them and they're still not able to, this is where it's going to take more time, more effort, and energy. And then some questions to ask. Would it be helpful if I sent you occasional updates? How would you like me to stay in contact with you? What would need to happen before you feel ready to move forward? And is it okay if I check back with you in a few weeks? So my question for you, what do you typically do if after all of that time, and they still have not been willing to make the decision? Are these some of the questions to ask, or is there something else that you might do a little different to stay top of mind and for them to always consider you as their realtor?
Fred, I actually had a person who had signed a listing agreement, went through getting the house ready, and she called me and said she was going with a friend of hers to sell her house. So, of course, my initial feelings, as anybody would know, that you spent this time, you've got prepared the house, and really the agent was wrong to come in at that point. But at the end of the day, it's the seller's property. And I just kept an eye on it. And I noticed that it's the I would call her periodically and say, how's it going? Because she did purchase a house with me. So she purchased new
Oh,
construction and
wow.
then went back to sell her house. I helped her get it ready, and then she went with another agent. And she ended up selling with him, but she was very upset because he gave her a price that she wanted to hear, but not really what the market would bear. And I just simply said to her, I understand as a seller that you want to make the most money, but my job is to interpret the market for you and to tell you the truth. I'm not an appraiser, but from my experience, what a appraiser, and based on the comps in the area, what that realistically her house would sell for, which is what it sold for. But she came back years later because she wanted to buy an additional house. So how I handled it, even though I was very upset, very, very upset, she never knew it. I just acted professional, and I followed up with her. I
Very
kept
good.
saying, so the follow up really does matter. And sometimes we have to put aside our own feelings. And I took a lot of time with her to get that house ready.
Okay.
So,
I,
yeah,
I have
sometimes
a
you spend a
question.
lot of time, but
I have a question. How
mhm.
often do you follow up?
That well, for that particular incident, I kind of kept an eye on the house, and she was upset about what the agent had told her, but she didn't cancel with him. She did sell with him. And just like I follow up with everyone periodically, I won't say I I probably make sure I touch base with people at least once or twice a year, sometimes more frequently. Of course, there are clients that I'm closer to, so I keep in touch with them probably more frequently. Some of them have become more like friends, but I also had a client that we went under contract 3 times, and each time it fell out. And I I just kind of knew she was never going to follow through with me. She eventually purchased, but because again, I followed up, congratulated her. Now that she's ready to sell, I'm the agent she called back, not the agent she actually purchased with.
Good.
So the follow up and how you handle when people are when you're disappointed. I've had
Okay.
that happen with family members, and now one of my family members is a real estate agent, and she came to my company, and she actually said, I thought it was funny, oh, my cousin has my back, but she sold a house and didn't use me. So
Mhm.
you, as an agent, sometimes we have to put those feelings aside and conduct our business, be the professional, but also um, it's really just being professional, and not, and I'm a very I can be an emotional person, but I have learned to not take everything personally. For the we're human. I do have I take it personally for a moment, and then I realize that is their the it's their property, so they
And
can.
we must always be professional in the
Yes,
best of times and in the worst of times.
yes, yes.
There you go.
So
And
Okay.
I think you got to also realize too is that um the more time you spend sulking over something that didn't work out, the less effective you're going to be at moving forward and getting something that's out there for you.
yep, that's
Okay.
good, Chanel.
You're right.
Absolutely.
I, now we got 5 minutes remaining. I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best we're gonna start the class exercise. We're not gonna finish it, and we have to finish it next week. That is fine, but at least I want you to, as a class, we can start seeing with what I am trying to do. Can everybody see my screen now where I have realtor prospecting, terrific 20 prospecting types?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. With everything that we spoke about, um, I want us as a class to come up with 20 prospecting types, whether they're for a buyer or a seller, sometimes both, and what the objective is. And let me go ahead and start. I'm going to type this in. So one prospecting type would be friends. And I'm going to tell you in advance, you're going to see how horrible of a typist I am. I can't spell either. So prospecting types is friends. So if we're going to try and prospect to our friends, would they be buyer or seller or both?
Both.
Okay. All right. So if we're trying to prospect to friends, what's the objective? Is it set the appointment, gather intelligence, build rapport and trust, or plant seeds for future opportunities? If you call one friends, what is going to be the objective?
I say plant seeds
4.
for future opportunities. Yep.
All right, we have 4. My question is, what's wrong with number 1? Set the appointment.
Well, if you
Depends on
know,
where they are.
yeah, I was going to say
No,
since they're your
all
friends.
right. Let me give some context.
Okay.
This is the first time you have found out about one of your friends that has a desire to either buy a house or if they own a house to sell a house.
Oh, then
That
it would
is the
definitely
concept.
be number one.
Excuse
You know,
me?
it would definitely be number one, trying to, set an appointment with them to really talk about what their end goal is, what they want to do, and see if how you can help and if they want to be assisted by you.
Okay. All right. Very, very good. Okay. That's number 1. Set the appointment. All right. What is another prospecting type? If you were to talk to someone, if you all right, I'll give you this. The existing client. If you're calling up an existing client, what do you really would that be a buyer or a seller or both?
Both.
All right. What is the objective? You're calling up an existing client.
So
What is your objective?
gathering information, intelligence to see if they are in the market.
Well, they are an existing client. So when you call them up, you're going to do what? And you're right. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Gather intelligence. And then what else? Anything else?
Plant seeds for future opportunities.
There you go.
You could be setting an appointment too if you at that stage where they're
Yeah.
ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So one of the things that I realized is that I um even with family and existing clients is that making sure that they know that you can refer them, that you don't have to live in that state. So this year I have 4 referrals because of that, just letting them know that, oh, I have a real estate partner in this state and I can refer them. And so, and I've lost business, even family business and mega family business, where they sold a 900 something $1,000 house, bought a $700,000 house, and then my sister-in-law a $500,000 house. And I did not get a referral for any of those. And I blame myself because though they know I'm a real estate agent, their assumption is you don't live in California or you don't live in Colorado. And so as agents, we have to let our existing clients and our friends and family know that we can refer them to other agents outside of the areas that we work in.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
All
I
right. All right. We are short. We're running just a little over, but I want to do one last prospecting type. And I want to devote this to Benny. Benny, when you are doing your prospecting, who are you concentrating on and why? Oop, you still there? Benny?
Buyers, probably leads or open house leads.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? Hey, Benny?
Yeah, I said, yeah, for buyers, either past leads, so keeping up with them, or open house leads.
All right, so we'll do with one. So
Yes, can you hear
prospecting.
me?
All right, so let's do this. We'll do one. So you got an open house lead.
I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now? Nope. Hey, Benny? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do this one. So for an open house, a buyer would be yes. What would be
It can be sellers too, Fred. I've gotten a seller from an
right?
open house.
But we're gonna keep things a
Okay.
little simple.
Okay.
For an open house lead, even if it was for a seller, doing would make a difference. When you call them up, what would be the primary objective? You met someone at the open house.
well, I first asked them how they liked the house. Like I was
It'd be what?
I
Because
would
I would,
ask them what they thought about the house, like their opinions and their feedback.
well, yeah. So when you get the information, you have their name and phone number. And so you're going to follow up with them. What is your primary objective to follow up with them? What is it you want to try? What is it that you want to try to do? I would
Get them
say,
to use me as their agent
well, I would
eventually.
say before you even do that, set an appointment. So if you meet someone at an open house and they give you the contact information, would you not want to try to set up an appointment to be able to talk to them in more detail and find out more about their plans? Or no?
Yes. Yes.
That would be my thinking. Schedule an appointment. So for an open house lead,
Yeah.
set the appointment. Try your best to be able to sit down with them 15 minutes, whatever, and set the appointment. So what we're going to try to do for next week, I want to go through all of these, see if we can't come up with 20. Because then this could be our template for our class of when we have different individuals or different prospecting types, then we know that when we are making those calls, this is the objective. This is the objective for the open house lead. Set the appointments. Friends, set the appointment. For an existing client, we may try to gather intelligence and plant seeds for future opportunity. So we come up with these 20, then that will help us out with our prospecting. So then we know when we're prospecting as a class, this is what we came up with. It's not going to be 100% true in every case, but it is going to be an opportunity for us to have a better idea of what we should be doing for each individual that we come in contact with. Sound good? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm back. Okay. I know we're a little over time, but I just want to go over just a couple of quick items. For the homework, try to do one cold call, make 10 prospecting calls, and for this week, record the prospecting objective for each call you make. Identify what was the objective for you making that call or visit or whatever. And we have those 4. And if you come up with another one or more, that is fine. But at least start recording what your prospecting objective is. Continue to use 3 different prospecting types during the week: text, phone call, visit, whatever. See if we can generate the weekly leads in accordance to our annual production goal. And then read chapter 10, leveraging the prospecting pyramid. And so we're going to be here again next week, 9 a.m. And I know we went through a lot, but it shows you how much I think we're doing well as a class, where we're doing more sharing, which is what I like. So any questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I was talking to, I think it was Lester, and we were thinking that maybe one of these classes or 2 of these classes, maybe we can all get together and meet and have a class in person somewhere, if other
Ooh.
people would like to do that.
Oh, yes. I would like that, and I know where.
I'm in.
The only one that I
That's
think may be a challenge is Kim. I know Kim says.
Oh, because I live in Chesapeake Beach, Maryland.
Yes, I know where Kim lives.
That's
But yeah,
not far.
that could be a possibility as well. Yes, I am open for that. Okay. Thank you for that suggestion, Chanel. I really enjoy it. Okay.
Wonderful.
We will try and see if we can accommodate that. Not a problem. Again, thank you all. Any questions or comments after class, don't hesitate to get a hold of me, and let's make it a great week. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Fred.
Bye.
Great as usual.